I got Ruth Heasman. Ruth, good to see you. I loved reading your book, blockchain. Is it Bitcoin AI? I don't think about the title of it now. Anyways, it's the AI connection with Bitcoin, and there's a number of people actually right now. There's two people that I know who I've turned that book on to, and shown developers, and they're now building. They're building AI stuff using Bitcoin. One is John Calhoun. I think he's already done it. That was the OpenClaw. He did the OpenClaw idea, and I mean, I really, dude, I want to do a show with John Calhoun, and if he's open to it, a challenge to just do a training. Like, what do I do? Take me through it in baby steps. That would be the thing that would be great because the OpenClaw built on Bitcoin SV. I don't think we should just throw that aside and think, oh, that's no big deal. We don't need to worry about that. That right there could be one of the biggest inventions ever using this technology. And I think John is so busy working on so many things, and he's, not a lot of people know who he is. It's not getting a lot of attention yet. So I really, really would like to draw some attention to that. And personally, I just want to use the damn thing so I know what the hell I'm talking about and experiencing it. Because, I mean, it's hard for me to say since I haven't used it. But in order to do that, I'd need to take some training with John and maybe record all that and say, all right, John, let's set this thing up. How do I use the thing? What do I get out of it? I think one of the things that would be cool with it is he says it could run your social media for you, like an assistant. Oh, it's, like some of you like it post on social media like crazy. And that's what it could do. Manage it, talk to people. Oh, Ruth is giving thumbs up. Yeah, it's definitely, I think the OpenClaw idea, that seems to be exactly what your book was pointing to, a connection. And I think in chapter 9, there was, if I remember the words that you used, I don't remember, I don't have the book in front of me, but there were some really good words in the chapter 9 I remember talking about that were bridging the gap between the Bitcoin blockchain and AI. And it seems like that's what just happened. There's two other guys I know right now as well. One is a really well-known exchange operator. He operates an exchange, and he is secretly building an AI project on using Bitcoin SV right now. And there's another one who's not well known as well. He's also doing the same thing, and a large language model program, kind of like a Claude. They're building it using putting transactions on chain. So,
hi, Gavin.
Oh, you are up here. Hi, Ruth.
Hiya.
Good to see you.
Yeah, I thought I'd just pop in. I might have to go in a minute because it's dinner time here in the UK. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm doing an absolute load of coding myself lately. I mean, I'm doing it right now as we speak, actually, slightly mental amount of apps. So, but one of the ones I've been making is, I don't know if you remember, I wrote that novel, and the AI character in it was called Lakshmi, and I've sort of named it for that character. But it's basically like a personal, private AI that stores all your knowledge base as wiki files, and so you can kind of grow and leverage your personal knowledge base. Because at the moment, whenever you talk to an AI, they store the chats for you, and have it in your own sort of file system, and you can transfer it if you want to as well. But I've been using it myself, and I'm really loving it because I don't know about you, but like I store things that I read and information in my brain in so many different places, and it's disparate places. And so with this system now, I can upload all my notes that I store in all various different places and export my bookmarks from X and things like that, and make them a useful, usable part of my knowledge base. So whenever I talk to the AI, I'm kind of talking about my stuff particularly, but it can do web searches as well and use tools and things as well. But so I should make a video about that really. And Casey, you'll be pleased to hear that I've actually finally made. I've called it One Satchel for one sat, but that Linktree app that we were trying to make with Ryan years ago, and I've finally done it, and it's almost ready to release. And I've done a music platform called Sonic Star, which I've just been working on today, and that's almost finished. And that's like a few of them. Like I've got a bunch more. It's kind of insane how fast you can build with AI. It's really insane. And if anyone wants me to show them, how to do it, I'm really happy to demo it for people, because I think we all need to get started. It's gotten so easy. There's no reason not to.
Wow. So Ruth, the book is drawn a lot of people, a lot of smart people, really excited about using AI, building the AI and Bitcoin revolution. And can you talk about a little bit about your insight from that book that can help inspire some of the people out there that are trying to put the puzzle together between AI and blockchain and Bitcoin?
Oh, that's such a big topic, really. But essentially, we've got all of the ingredients to make the AI more useful, more private, more trustworthy, more stable, more leverageable. I mean, this Lakshmi thing that I was talking about, it's hashing everything, every wiki entry it writes, it's hashing it to the blockchain as well. Just, as another layer of interest. So essentially, the two combined are so powerful, it's crazy. And I wrote a tool the other day. I haven't tested it really yet, so I need to test it, but that will help developers to sort of road test their releases before they make them public, and test them on the blockchain as well. So, but there's lots of ways in which the combination is just so powerful and underused at the minute that it's very difficult to talk about without knowing in which direction to speak. I mean, from a security standpoint, it's wonderful. From a micropayments standpoint, it's wonderful. Another app I've been making today is like an online magazine where you unlock the articles with micropayments. And there's just no reason not to do it now. Like there's nothing standing in the way anymore from everybody making as many things as they want. And it's very straightforward. If you can speak, you can make apps now.
So if I'm in front of like a Sam Altman type of a guy, and a lot of people don't like him and they hate him and they want to sue him, but still, let's just say it's somebody like him. So political bias aside, what would I say to someone like that to say, look, you have this chat GBT, here's the benefit to you by blending this into the blockchain on Bitcoin. How would I explain that to him?
Oh God, you're asking me at the end of a very long day here.
Yeah, really a tough question, but
my brain's so kind of scrambled at the minute. I'm like so crazy when I work on stuff. I work on like 4 or 5 projects per day at a time, and I keep switching tabs between them. Like I'm so mental. I'm so like loving life at the minute.
nice.
But I do end up a bit scrambled at the end of the day.
Well,
But
just to let me add to it then. I mean, I think what it is, the way I would seem to understand it, is that it's going to make all these AIs be able to. Okay, they use transactions in sats by paying each other for information, or a task in a SAT,
Well, yeah, that's right. So agent to agent payments
agent to
is
agent payments.
absolutely, completely perfect for that. And it does make me wonder if like hyper Bitcoinization will finally happen between the agents, not between the people, because there will be trillions of agents before very long. There's already millions, and they will all be tasked to perform various actions. And they're going to need some way to, pay for their tool use. And it's absolutely tailor made for that, because you can pay in tiny increments. You can just pay for what you use. You can stream the payments. As long as you've got the ability to sort of sign the wallet, there's really nothing, the human doesn't need to be in the loop. I mean, I would say that the humans still should be in the loop. It's the humans who own the money or the BSV or whatever, and they have to authorize the transactions. But outside of that, it can happen whilst you're asleep, honestly. If you can say to your agent, I authorize you to spend up to $10 a day performing whatever functions, to get this job done, it can go off and do it. Uh, so I've been building some sort of X402 functionality into the back end of some of my apps currently. Though, I mean, it needs a bit more testing, honestly, because it's much easier to use a human-based interface at the moment than for an agent to get a good result, unless they're doing something very, very simple.
Let me ask you about your book again. So when you did this book, did you self-publish the book?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Hmm. I see. And you published it on Amazon. Were you pretty pleased with the way it worked out and how you will you change it? Would you do it differently?
No, it was fine. I mean, the book is actually available on AIBitcoinRevolution.com, and you can read it for free there. And it's kind of better there in a way, because I've got some code examples and stuff alongside it, and it's really difficult to publish code in a printed book because it would just be pages and pages. It would be very boring um, to flip through. But of course, once you can copy and paste something, it's much more useful. So the online version is not only free, but it's actually better, I think. But people do like books, and I'm glad it exists. And I'm sitting here staring at it now, actually. It's just sat on my desk here.
AIBitcoinRevolution.com says
Yeah,
log in and get the free book right now. You can
yeah,
read.
you can read it for free. It's I think you might have to log in, but it's only like a Google login. It's nothing major. And there's also a business idea generator there as well, which you can play with, that will where you can select sort of different properties of Bitcoin, the different things it's good at doing, between the micropayments or zero knowledge proofs, or all the different ways in which Bitcoin can be used. And it will come up with new and innovative business ideas. So you can go and have a play with that as well.
I need to write a review on your book here. I see you have reviews. I need to write one for you. So I'll do that
Oh
because
yeah,
I
please do.
bought this book on here
That helps
and
a
I really
lot.
enjoyed it. And yeah, it's an amazing. I actually shared this with a number of people. And like I said, there's three developers now, two that are influenced just by me alone for sure, that are building stuff like this on Bitcoin. And then John Calhoun, he probably heard about it on his own, but it is influencing people, Ruth. You're making an impact.
Well, I know that's great, and I'm actually asking John Calhoun for some help today, because he's made an overlay server uh, setup that I could do with using for this Sonic Star, because I've got so basically you can mint your own music tracks as ones at ordinals, and I need an overlay network to be able to sort of pick them up so that you can basically see all of the music tracks that have been minted all over the world. So that's a bit of infrastructure I could do with his help setting up, because he's written it in Rust, you see, and I don't do Rust at the minute. I only do TypeScript. So I could do with a bit of assistance. But like the stuff he's been coming out with lately is absolutely brilliant. I haven't tried his Dolphin thing yet, but I do intend to when I get a minute. And Brandon as well, doing that hackathon recently. Millions and millions of transactions, throughput. I think no real stress on the system at all, from what I can tell. And great sort of proof of concepts happening. And that's kind of what I'm doing at the minute, because I'm making all these different sorts of apps and just trying to do as many proof of concepts as possible. But I mean, things that are actually useful and usable, I mean, they have to be good as well. But I think it's time to put our money where our mouths are and say, okay, well, Bitcoin can do all these things, and now we've got to just demonstrate it over and over and over again to people until they really get the bloody idea through their heads. Because up until now, it's all been sort of theoretical, but now you can just go and build all these apps and implement all of these different sort of facets of Bitcoin. Now's the time to just go and do it. And I encourage everybody to go and do it. And the tool I'm using is Replit, and I will gladly help anyone get started with it if they want a bit of, assistance. And there's just really nothing holding you back. If you can read and speak and think, you can make BSV apps now.
Yeah, I encourage you to go read the CoinGeek article with Brendan Lee, and it talks about MolDoc, which is a agent swarm built by ELAS.
Yeah.
And it's a distributes drug simulation. It distributes drug simulation work to anyone with a web browser. I'm not going to go into the technicalities on it. It's over my head, but
it's crazy cool though.
It seems like it's a very valuable tool.
I mean, if you think about, do you remember SETI at Home back in the early 2000s? That was a kind of a project where you could get it to use your CPU whilst you were doing other things. And I think it was scanning space for alien transmissions or something, from what I remember. But we can do things just like that with BSV, sort of distributed computing, and we can either pay people to do it, or they can be paid for doing it. So there's endless different ways to combine Bitcoin and AI. There really are endless ways. And I'd like to build a medical app next. That's on my to-do list as a proof of concept, because of course you'd have to, it would have to be a huge project to do it properly. But just to have the proof of concept, say, listen, this is actually entirely feasible now, that people could own their own medical data and share it, with whom and for how long they want to. And that could be very, very useful to people, to have access to their own medical data on their own phone, and to be able to share it, in a limited way with who they want to, when they want to.
Ruth, do you know who David Rees is?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, he's a British mathematician, I think, SPY, GCHQ. Dead now, I think, isn't he?
He died in 2013.
Yeah.
And did you know that he worked on the Enigma project with Turing?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then he also
Great
had the knowledge. He was it seems like he was one of the few peoples in the world who had the knowledge at the time in 2008 to pick the K1 curve over the 256 curve to build Bitcoin.
Well, it's a very, very mathsy thing, that, isn't it? So his wheelhouse. I guess that's why Craig got his advice. Yeah.
Yep. What is the story on that? Because I'm not sure I've seen the testimony from Craig on that. Do you know?
I think essentially, I think he was using David Rees as consulting. So I think he was pretty old at the time and frail. So I don't suppose he was, he's probably just communicating with him over the internet. I imagine. I actually don't know, but from what little I know about it, I think he was just basically using him as a maths consultant for the sort of cryptographic parts of Bitcoin. But I couldn't really tell you. I mean, I don't think anyone can really tell you. That's the trouble, isn't it?
Well, it seems like he would be one of the few people in the world at the time that would have had that type of knowledge. David Rees.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a missing key. There's a lot of people in the BTC community. They want to know about who Satoshi is, and they put out this movie saying they want to put it on Adam Back and some of these other clowns that are not. There's no chance. And so, but I mean, if they want to really do research, they should look into David Rees because
Oh, yeah. But like, I mean, they're literally being paid not to, aren't they?
yeah.
That's the trouble. There's a lot of vested interests that don't want people to do any kind of serious investigative journalism whatsoever. So it's vain hope, really, that the people making these documentaries are ever going to look into it, because they're literally being paid not to.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's the real big, the most exciting part is that the real big one that's coming out with this Killing Satoshi is
Yeah, I'm
gonna
excited for that.
it's really gonna reveal it. And there's a documentary as well. And these are huge productions, not an internet film, a cult movie that they just put out for $17 with no actually going into the cinemas. This is going into the cinemas. It's going to go to Cannes next month, and I'm hopeful and optimistic that it is going to be a massive production. I mean, it sure looks that way. Doug Liman
I
and
think
the
it's going to be really interesting, not because of, well, obviously because of the subject matter, and we're all keen to see it, but the fact that it's being made with all sort of AI backgrounds as well, I think it's going to be a lot of firsts. So I think it might draw a lot of attention, for how it's been made as well as everything else. So I don't, think it's a bad thing necessarily that it's like all green screen, because I mean, unless it's terrible, which is possible, I guess, but with the star power in it, I doubt it. And isn't the director, didn't he do like The Day After Tomorrow and can't think what else,
yeah,
but
Day After
Rob,
Tomorrow, Born Identity. The
yeah,
Born Identity. Doug Liman is one of the biggest directors
yeah,
in
it seems like
Hollywood.
huge. Some of my favorite films.
Yeah,
So I've got high hopes that it's going to be really good quality, and like I say, lots of fuss, and should attract a lot of attention. Um, yeah, so I think it's going to be good.
yeah, yeah. So it is. While Brian Armstrong has a special interest in making sure that nobody ever finds out about who Satoshi is because of his stock shares at Coinbase. They have a little disclaimer in there saying if Satoshi's identity ever comes forward and they move any coins, then our stock price will probably crash to zero. So he has a disclaimer in there. So he has a financial interest to make sure that nobody finds out anything about who created Bitcoin. So,
Mm.
and then he reposts and talks about how great that movie is, and it was two dead guys that had nothing to do with it. So,
I know, it's hilarious. Like, I don't even pay much attention anymore. Let them
yeah,
do whatever.
yeah. It's way over. It's over. Behind you. But the mainstream people, as they're starting to look at this, I'm going to this Bitcoin convention over tomorrow. It's going to be the BTC convention, and all they talk about there is price. And you know, I
Price
know it's kind
prediction.
of over people like you and a lot of people on this call. They're really behind them. But the mainstream, they don't. The mainstream, that's our market. The mainstream people. And so that's why I'm going to this thing, and I think that's why this movie is going to be such a big deal. It's going to draw in a lot of people. So
Well, just to present people with an alternative narrative is going to break through so much, glass ceiling at the minute, isn't it? The mere idea that there might be another story. If you
Right.
think about it, that everyone's been fed with this, the single narrative of Bitcoin as gold, digital gold for so many years now. It's such a revolutionary act to even suggest there's a different possible story. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I don't have high hopes because I think as a BSVer, you get so kind of kicked and tamped down that you kind of stop hoping in the end. You're kind of like, oh, this is our lot now, and you stop getting excited about things because
Well,
it just seems
that's
impossible.
probably,
But it's
I think
impossible.
it's a good time to come back and remind people about optimism, because optimism is the key, and I think it's really the driving force here.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got to
And
have optimism.
like I'm saying, is there's so many reasons to be optimistic. It could well be that AI agents are going to lead to hyper-Bitcoinization. It could easily be the case, honestly. Like that's almost extremely likely as far as I'm concerned, because there is nothing else or nothing better that's up to the job. Um, and outside of that, just literally just making all these BSV apps. Because I mean, everybody's having a go at it now, and thank God, it's about time, because for so long it was out of reach, and now it's completely within our grasp. So everybody just needs to get on board and start bloody coding immediately, and just
So
make whatever your heart desires. Honestly,
I wanted to do
don't
a
need.
show, or maybe a training with John Calhoun, because he built this Dolphin milk, and it's this amazing app like OpenClaw that I think I could really. Oh, they suspended his X account. That's wrong. That's really bad. That's too
Really?
bad.
Why?
It doesn't say why. Suspended. Account suspended. Probably because it was too disruptive.
It's because he was just about to help me do something. That's why. No,
Well,
I'm kidding.
it was. I'm sorry. It wasn't. It was actually his company, Dolphin Milk. They suspended Dolphin Milk. They're out of
Okay.
business. But it doesn't mean that they're not doing their thing. But they're out. Their X account got shut down. It's too
They can
popular.
just rename it. I mean, OpenClaw had about 15 names, didn't it? So, yeah, it won't stop him.
Wow. So
Yeah, I just think it is definitely a very optimistic time because there's so many different things that are coalescing right now, and to make it undeniable. And it's going to very quickly become undeniable. That not only that Craig is Satoshi, though it doesn't really matter anymore, truthfully. But obviously, I do completely believe that Craig is Satoshi and always have. But um, it's just, and before long, it's just not going to matter because everything else about it's going to be undeniable.
yeah,
You see what
it
I
won't
mean?
matter. I think
It's compelling.
the only
Everything's
compelling
compelling.
reason that it matters, Ruth, is that it has to do with the newbie, like even my story about first exploring this, like interested in reading about the O'Hagan of Affairs article and reading about the stories. It just drew. It's very magnetic, put it that way.
Oh, it totally is. I mean, you like it's so crazy. Like you couldn't write how crazy the story is. Like the reality of it is so much crazier than anything you could dream up. I mean, even that novel that I wrote was not as crazy as the real story. So I mean, it's madness, really. So once that story does kind of hit the mainstream, I think you're right. It's going to be very magnetic because it's so full of twists and turns.
So
It's
when you publish these
great
books,
stories.
um,
Yeah.
for a new person who want to write a book and they want to copy what you did and they want to be successful writing a book, I mean, did you, I know you published it yourself, so if you had to put up all the money and all the Amazon, oh, what, they take 50%, I think, is that how it works? And
Oh
uh,
yeah, you don't really make any money from writing books. Just let me
no,
tell you that for starts.
no money in it.
Not really,
It,
but
it
that's not a reason not to do it though. Yeah.
No money in the book, but it's something that it gives you, well, I would say that it gives you the authority of an expert. You know, in my opinion, you're an expert now on Bitcoin blockchain revolution, AI. Not too
Yeah,
many
I know what you
people.
mean. I mean, I don't think I was, because I'm not an expert, and I'm not, I don't have any major claims to anything, honestly. But the thing was that I wanted it to exist. It was like there's there's a book that needs to exist right now. You know, that was my thinking, because I could see the two things coalescing so strongly. The need for a sort of a BSV harness to put onto the AI to, you know, because the AI is going to get increasingly dangerous as time goes on, and so it absolutely needs to be constrained. And constraining it with a BSV wallet, honestly, is going to be the major way to do it, I think. And so we need to keep telling that story to people, because it's a powerful story. It's absolutely based in reality and fact. Um, it's so funny because Craig is like, he's such an autist, you know, and you could say he's almost half computer himself. So I find it funny in a way that what he really invented is something really to make AI usable and useful and safe. And I don't think he knew that's what he was inventing at the time, but I think with hindsight, it is.
Yeah.
And so, and I mean, he always knew that the microtransactions would be flowing like, you know, great rivers or whatever. So he could definitely see that once it gets traction, you know, the flow of energy and information around the globe is going, you know, and value, is going to be constant and a flood. So I get that he definitely foresaw that, but I don't think even he could have kind of quite grasped how he was really building something for the machine world, or the interface between humans and the machine, because the humans have got to keep their sovereignty and their agency, right, and their
That's
creativity, and, you know, just we do need to keep the upper hand,
hmm.
essentially.
So
And
that's
so
an
it is a great way to do it.
interface between the humans and the machines.
Yeah.
Did you just come up with that?
Well, yeah, but I mean, in a sense, it's something I've been thinking for a long time, and I do find it funny that it was invented by somebody who is so autistic. No offense meant to Craig with that term, self-described autistic or Asperger's, and so it needed somebody who was sort of halfway between the two in a weird sort of way to grasp not only the need for it to make it reality behave itself, really, to you know, be able to distinguish between falsehood and truth,
So it's
and to
I
handshake
need to
and
write that
manipulate
down. What was that again? The bridge between the machines and humans? What was the term?
yeah, I think so. I think if you think of putting a bridle on a horse, you know, BSV is the bridle to the AI.
That's a brilliant concept. Bridge between the machines and humans. Let me go to
Yeah.
Bose while he just came up and say what's up, Bose. Good to see you, buddy.